Good morning, welcome. It's Tuesday, the 12th of February. This is Yesterday Today. I'm Ben, and today we're going to be looking at the Liverpool Daily Post from 1868. And so far, the Daily News has been fairly Anglo-centric, but I dug this little gem up from the other side of the Atlantic. It's a story of spiritualism of sorts from Newark. Extraordinary case of spiritualism. The trial of W.M. Ewan, the Newark spiritualist, was resumed yesterday at the Court of Quarter Sessions, Newark. The room was crowded to excess with an audience which listened with profound attention to testimony in which wild chimerical views of this new religious sect were advanced with an apparent amount of sincerity which was perfectly astounding. In a private conversation with a prominent spiritualist present, assurances were given that this psychological theory was widespread and its disciples in the United States could be numbered by millions, and countless converts were daily made. One declared that spiritualism was to supersede Christianity, as the faith is now sinking into the slough of apathy. Man wants a demonstrative and mystical religion to redeem him from worldly dross. He believed the Egyptian priests were spiritualists, and the gods Isis and Osiris were eminent mediums, that the Druids were also spiritualists, and by their mysteries and communings with the spirits were enabled to hold unlimited sway over the minds of the people. The prophet Samuel was undoubtedly a spiritualist, and so were many other biblical characters. Why should not Ewan, therefore, not be endowed with preternatural powers as well as the saints? And if he did put himself to the ordeal, to test his chastity, did not Christ suffer himself to be tempted of the devil? This is the species of sophistry and reasoning by analogy and precedent that is making so many converts to this extraordinary religion, especially among women, whom they represent are fond of polemics, and this visionary belief gives ample scope to argumentative tastes. The first witness called was the daughter of the Mrs. Reeves in question, and also one of the parties concerned in the nude exhibition. She is quite a prepossessing young lady, with a blooming complexion and robust form, and though her features are not regular, still they are comely and attractive. Her tall, erect form and graceful carriage would adorn any drawing room, and her vivacious manners and pleasant smile would win admirers. And then this story continues to go on, and there's a long and pretty drawn out court transcript that amounts to the story that Ewan and his followers undressed and went out into the street to preach to passers-by on their communication with the spirits. And they insisted that this wasn't them being lewd, they are only following the Bible's teachings, although I'm not quite sure how. The trial was concluded with the following verdict. The district attorney was of the opinion that there was more fraud than folly in the affair, and that a good sound flogging would bring the Reeves family and the prisoner to their proper senses. Well, there you go. A good sound flogging. Don't send them to prison or fine them, just give them a good beating. Now, I'm going to leave you today with this wonderful sounding advertisement for Liebig's extract of meat. This extract can be highly recommended and will be found most economical in use. And if your straight extract of meat doesn't sound all that appealing, note that you can also buy it in Liebig's patented lozenge form. If that's not your thing, how about restoring your health and manhood? Cure yourself by the new patent self-adjusting curative and electric belt. Yeah, you heard me right. Sufferers from nervous debility, painful dreams, mental and physical depression, impaired sight and memory, indigestion, prostration, lassitude and depression of spirits, loss of energy and appetite, pains in the back and limbs, timidity, self-distrust, dizziness, love of solitude, groundless fears and company can now cure themselves by the only guaranteed remedy in Europe, protected by Her Majesty's Great Seal. So, for basically any ailment that you can come up with, you just strap on this electric belt and away you go. Presumably, it also fixes constipation. On that note, that was yesterday. This is today. Have a good one.